Two Idiots, One Shot, a podcast with a flawed moment.
Let's go. Go.
Oh, the most important person, right? Oh, God. Okay, so.
Yeah, get it.
Yeah, this works.
Yeah. Okay, we're back on.
Okay, so I need to do the intro again, yeah?
Yeah. Are you sure that Rebecca is also in the frame?
Yeah. I literally looked at it from the other side.
Okay, cool.
and
Sorry.
then-
All right.
I mean, yeah.
No, go on.
Whew. Right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Two Idiots, One Shot. With me here today, we've got Jan, and as well, we've got a lovely, lovely guest, Rebecca Perry. She's been a freelance model for over 10 years, has had a very, very successful career. She's been published in Playboy twice now, I believe, and she has done all of this without ever signing up for an agency. The girl has my absolute respect, and that's why we decided to bring her on the show. And do you know what? Let me hand it over to Rebecca so she can introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rebecca. Can I just say, I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so excited to do this podcast.
We're happy to have you here.
Mate, likewise.
I just want to tell everyone, this is my first podcast I've ever done. So I'm super excited. And yeah,
No,
happy to
mate,
be here.
Likewise, I think since that day when I actually worked with you, right? Like the way when we were talking, it's just like I instantly felt like, oh, there's a lot that we can talk about on if we get together on a podcast, and that's why I brought it up then, and I'm glad that a year later this has now come together. This has now come to fruition, so it's really exciting. But like you've had an incredible career, and to think that you've done all of that without an agency, that's really remarkable. It also makes me question, like, in order to be successful, do you need to still go the traditional ways of going through agencies and trying to get, through castings and stuff like that? Or
Yeah.
how did you do it? It's basically what I'm trying to understand. Like if someone's trying to get into the industry and it's like, look, I need pointers, I'm not quite sure what to do or where to go, because again, there's a lot of information out there. It's just what's the right information.
And there is so much information out there. And it's so important to get the right information, but not just from a career point of view, but from a safety point of view. And before I get into this, I just want to say how it is so important to do your homework. If you are looking to do photo shoots and maybe start a career in modeling, do your homework, honey. Do your homework. So
You said like
What would you say is the homework you have to start with?
absolutely, like because you put so much emphasis on it. Like what were some of the mistakes that you went through?
So when I first started, number one, I was 18, 19 years old. I was so incredibly shy. I was so shy, I couldn't even go into the supermarket and pay the cashier person. I couldn't give that, I couldn't have eye contact
Oh no.
and give them money. I'd always look down to the ground. And that's kind of how I got into modeling, because I was so shy. My stepdad was a hobbyist photographer.
All right.
And to boost my confidence, he said, okay, let's do some nice pictures of you, that make you feel good. And so here I was, 18, 19 years old, and he took some beautiful pictures of me in like a nice dress. We had a lovely garden, and yeah, I saw the
That's when it
pictures.
made click.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I look great. Oh my goodness.
Oh nice.
I had, I don't know why I had no confidence. I just don't know. I was so introverted. And even when I was with my friends, I would just, I didn't talk. I don't know how I had friends, because I just didn't talk. I was just there, but I wasn't there. So, so he took some pictures of me. I loved it. I felt really good. And at the time I was working as a care assistant, and I was looking after adults with mental health issues, Down syndrome, challenging behaviour, and I absolutely loved it. And I was in the care industry because all the females in my family worked as nurses, doctors, care assistants, and so on. I wanted to follow in their footsteps. And so I found modelling, and I was working as a care assistant at the same time. And let's just say, as you get older, you are, as cliche as it sounds, you're on that self-discovery journey, and you try new things. Like, the ages between 18.
Peace. You know. If you know, you know. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you know, honey. But, the ages between 18 and 25, you're learning who you are. And I felt
the interesting thing is when you're 18, you think like you like you're on the peak of your development, and then like 5 years later, you're like, no, I was
No.
such shite.
I was
Like,
not,
Oh,
no.
it's crazy.
Yes. And I got curious and basically I went on the internet and I kind of Googled how to become a model,
Right.
from a hobby point of view. Like, how can I continue this without my stepfather shooting me all the time?
This was
So-
how many years ago now?
Oh, 9-10 years ago.
Wow.
And basically a website called Model Mayhem and Purple Port came up. And you could just sign up. So I joined this site and it's a modeling platform. And I signed up. I used the images that he took of me and I put them on my portfolio. It's a bit like Facebook, but with
Yeah.
models and
Yep.
photographers where you
Yep.
can network. And so I joined. And then I was on the site for like 1 week. And a photographer contacted me and said, "Hi, Rebecca. I love your look. Would you be interested in doing a topless shoot?" And I said, yeah, okay then. And obviously, like we said, 18 and 25 years old, you feel, you're discovering yourself and you want to try new things. So I said, okay, let's give this a go, And long story short, I did the shoot. It was fantastic. I had a really great time. It was only for like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
And let's just say 2 weeks after that shoot, I walked into my care home where I was working at the time.
Yeah.
And I got called into the office. And they said, "Rebecca, sit down." I said, "Okay, this is weird. Like,
Oh,
they,
no.
why? What? Am I in trouble?
no.
No, I could sense something wasn't okay."
Someone's grassed you up.
And basically, long story short, this photographer had published those images in the newspaper. He sent them off for publication, and there was I sat down in the office and
without your permission.
yes, without he didn't inform me that he was going to publish these images.
Damn.
So I was-
Oh God.
I was published, and my work, the manager of the care home, they had the newspaper in their hand, and they slammed it down on the desk and said, "Rebecca, is this you?" And I went, "Oh, yes, it is me. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Like, honestly, you couldn't write this."
Got it or happy? Because like, okay, so it's not the right situation. But hey, I'm in the newspaper.
I couldn't believe it. So that's just like this really small picture of
Oh,
me.
that's magic.
I
man.
know. Honestly, I could not believe it. I had no idea.
Imagine how mortifying that must be if your boss is like literally the one to break the news to you. You're on the paper and topless as well.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I know.
gee.
This should be a film. This should be a series.
That's mad.
Yeah.
I should write to Netflix. But
That's mad.
yeah, so long story short, they said, "Is this you?" I said, "Well, yeah. Oh my God, it is me." And they said, "Well, I'm really sorry. We have to terminate your employment." And after that, I went to interview because I'm so honest and naive back then. They said to me, "So what happened to your last job?" I said, "Well, I did a topless photo shoot." Because I don't. Maybe it's the Spanish in me, but I don't see it as a problem. Maybe
That
because
is
I'm
brilliant.
I'm really aware that I'm quite different to a lot of people.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I think I did a topless photo shoot. And so basically I couldn't find a normal job, let's
Fair
just
play,
say.
fair play.
So
Really?
yeah, I mean I worked
But then again, I suppose cliche back then was a bit different as well. I
Yeah,
suppose
maybe, and-
nowadays everything like you find is a bit more.
Maybe obviously
You know,
like care homes, they want to have
out
like a
there,
clean
yeah.
sheet. But I know if I would have an applicant, I would say okay, do whatever you want in your
what you
spare
wanted to
time.
do though? Is that the sort of applications you were doing? Like again, looking at care homes and stuff like that, or was it just any job you went to? They were just like no.
So my dream job growing up was a midwife. I mean to give someone a family or help turn them into a family.
Yeah.
That would be my dream, to be a midwife. And there's no reason today why I still can't make that happen.
Yeah.
But where my modeling career has just kind of just shot up, like I don't know how or where or what's happened, but yeah, here I am 10 years later after that situation. So I tried to get a normal job, and then basically I had no choice. I guess it's those times in life, isn't it, where the struggle times where you force yourself to make it happen. You don't know how it was going to happen, but you make it happen.
No,
So yeah, here I am 10 years later, and I still can't believe it, and I feel so grateful to do something that I love.
Retro perspective, are you happy that you lost your job at this time?
Now I look back, and that's the best thing that's ever happened to me,
Yeah,
for
'cause
sure.
I lost
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
I also lost like a job a few times, and without losing these jobs, I wouldn't be here now. So it
Wow,
always
really?
it always leads you somewhere, isn't it? Like
100%. 100%. I mean, I suppose it's, you know, like it's always when you think like, oh shoot, now that door is closed. It's more like, yeah, but you know, plenty others are potentially, you know,
Definitely. You won't see it in this moment. You go,
yeah,
okay, fuck, I
that's
lost
it.
my
You know,
job.
it's
But
like you have to have the. I think to a certain degree, you have to have the maturity enough to understand. Oh, bro, you know what? It doesn't end here. You know that the story is still going to continue. It's like even before when we were talking outside about like, you know, like where do we see this going? Like even yesterday when I was talking to a friend of mine, she was just like, do you see this doing like, you know, like doing this professionally and getting money from it? And I'm like, yo, honestly, right now it's just I'm having fun. I'm trying to do what I
Yeah.
can do, and just to sort of see where I am in 5 years with it. It's just like I'd love to, absolutely, I'd love to get like, you know, just be paid for doing this. Like, right, like most people that know me know I love to talk, right? So this is
Yeah.
perfect, but it's I think you just have to have the maturity to understand, hey, like it doesn't end here. And from like for me, it took a long time. Like, you know, like you're saying that in your early like sort of like 20s, you sort of find yourself and stuff like that. For me, it came sort of in the early 30s. So throughout my 20s, like I sort of lived that life of like, oh, you know what, like something will happen, and then like then life will be better, innit? And then like sort of the early 30s hit, and I was like, oh shit, I need to change before something else changes. That's mad. That's freaking
I mean, that's the
No.
beauty of life. You never know what's around the corner. I mean,
Yeah.
speaking of podcasts, like as we mentioned, Joe Rogan,
yeah.
he had no intention to have this big, podcast show. And he just really enjoyed, hanging out with his friends, talking, and look where he is today. So you just
Oh,
never
well,
know what's around the corner, do you?
No,
Absolutely,
definitely. It's the
absolutely.
biggest podcast of the world.
I mean, how much does Spotify pay for it? Some 100 million, some silly money like that.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. I mean, some of the guests he's had on as well. I mean, he's had Elon Musk puffing a joint on his show. Yeah, do you know what I mean, bro? That's
No.
mad. Like, that's a different level of accomplishment, isn't it?
But what I love about Joe, it's just a genuine conversation. It's not staged. It's just kind of, he's there and he's really interested in
Yeah,
speaking
he
with his
really is.
guests and getting their opinion and input. And
Yeah.
yeah, I love how genuine it is. And it's not like, hi guys, welcome to Joe Rogan. It's so down to
Hi
earth.
guys, welcome
Yeah.
to Two Idiots.
Yeah.
He definitely gave his guest a lot of space, like a lot of room to show their best self on the show. I think this is also the reason why he came to this dilemma the other day, because he is like, even if he has a guest on his show where he's maybe not agreeing with some opinion, he's not necessarily go against it. He's just like, let this guy talking and
Well, I don't see. Look, like again, I don't know what happened, so I'm obviously a bit behind with that. But I don't see how letting someone voice their opinion is a bad thing. Like at the end of the day, it's someone's opinion, right? Like I know, like in the world, a lot is happening right now, which makes you think that your personal freedom is not as as free as you think. But like, if someone's gonna come and have an opinion, who am I to force my opinion onto them? Like, again, like you could potentially take that out of context and be like, again, look, what's going on right now. But for me, I'm just like, look, if you have an opinion, bro, like I'll voice my opinion, but I'm not gonna convince you to try and be like, nah, you're completely wrong. Because again, who am I
Yeah.
to say that I'm completely right?
especially nowadays, there's always someone on Twitter, like a online social justice warrior who just wants to see you falling and
Twitter,
tries to
honestly.
cancel you.
Twitter is like such a toxic platform. Oh, I fucking hate it.
See, I feel the same with Instagram.
Yeah, same.
I feel it's a illusion. And I'm not going to lie, even myself, someone who is a model, I used to compare myself to these influencers or models and, they photoshopped themselves. And even I'm like, they make me feel like,
That's mad,
I
though,
know
isn't
it's
it?
great. I know.
That's
I know.
absolutely insane. And the funny thing is, yeah, like, okay, so maybe not that funny, but you're not the only one that's told me this. Like, I've worked with
really?
so many models that I've literally turned around and be like, like when you have this like little one-to-one conversation, like I'm not the most secure person, and I'm like, you freaking kidding me right now? Do you want to like? Shall I prove to you that you really don't have no like literally? But look at these pictures and they're like, they look so good, and yet in their mind they're like, no, but like, have you seen this? And I'm like, yo, that's mad that you think like that. But yeah, it's social media. Obviously, it has its pros and its cons. I don't
Yeah, for
disagree.
sure.
For me, like it's like Twitter is an absolute trash, like social, but Instagram as well. It's given people a lot of like it gives you fake dreams and it shows you fake dreams as real, and it's the people that can't like sort of that don't know the difference, and like even some people do know the difference. and it still puts them down. That's mad. That is.
So what do you
incredibly mad.
guys think about Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse that he's creating? Do you know much about it?
No, I don't know much about it, but it scares the hell out of me because I just have this like vision of this like utopic future where no one is really going out anymore. Everyone's just sitting at home with like a VR, what's it called, like a VR thingy on their head and just spending their life in the metaverse. And I definitely I see the opportunities. I see like a lot of business will grow with it and will invest in it and will make good money with it. And it probably also has some good sides, but from my point of view now, I'm rather scared about how this will develop because it's not just metaverse. It's like everything else, like will kind of evolve in the same direction. Like,
Did you used to watch Futurama?
not really. No,
I love that show. I was obsessed. And The Simpsons.
Right. So same. Simpsons.
You got to
loved
mention
it.
The Simpsons.
Futurama. Like, at the beginning, I loved it. After a while, it just became a bit shit. But like literally, like when I hear him talk about like the metaverse, or like when people talk about the metaverse, like that's what pops into my head: flying cars, like tubes where people fly through and stuff like that. Like this whole like how things have evolved so quickly in the last 5 to 10 years. It's absolutely mind blowing, and literally like NFTs. Even I mean it's something that I want to talk to you about as well because I know it's something that you've sort of been dabbling in as well. But NFTs as a whole, the fact that it's nothing physical, you can't touch it. Yet these paintings are selling for like 67 million. Or like there's this kid, 13-year-old out of UK. He's released last year. He released whale NFTs, pixelated whale NFTs.
Oh yes, I've seen those. Yeah.
235,000, and I'm like, the hell! I can't draw, but I can do better than that.
And then there's like people doing like stick men and like selling those.
Bro,
a few
like,
thousand.
like legit, like what the fuck, like how, like just I can't fathom it. I'm finding it hard to wrap my head around it. Like, what is considered good? What is considered bad? Like, how do you know?
it's weird. You take your money, which is even like a fictional thing, isn't it, to buy something which doesn't exist. Just I know it's definitely
Bro,
weird.
like
for me.
even crypto. Like, okay, how long has crypto now been around for? Crypto's been a thing for a while, right?
And Bitcoin too. That's been around for many, many years.
I remember this guy back in 2009, like someone out of Holland. What he did is he jumped on the Bitcoin craze back then, and he sold his family home, cars, the kids' toys, even, right? And was like, right, we're not gonna live in one place. We're gonna get a caravan, and we're just gonna travel around, and Bitcoin's gonna finance it.
Oh wow.
And he literally just put all his money in Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, I saw a video about
That,
him.
like I'm like, yo, like fucking G move, my guy. Like absolutely, that's crazy.
Like I can. It's easier for me to comprehend Bitcoin because Bitcoin is basically working like every other currency as well. Like this is, I mean, yeah, it's like an online currency, but it's easier for me to get than like NFTs, which is like I know, it's like.
You've dabbled a little bit in NFTs, haven't you?
Yes, my knowledge is very basic, but so my partner does photography as a hobby, and me, I work as a model. So I see my modeling work as art. So we've, I thought to myself, I'm not on OnlyFans, I'm not on Patreon, I have nothing against those sites, but I wanted to dabble in NFTs. So we have made a OpenSea account where you can find my NFTs. Check it out. And
shameless plug. It's all right.
yeah.
Is there like a particular thing that you have to go type in to find you, or?
So my account is NFT_model. Super easy. Go find me. So we have sold 7 NFTs so far.
Hey.
My knowledge is super basic, but I feel it's worthy to sell as art.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So how does it work? You just upload your picture and say this is an NFT, or like how's the process behind it?
So basically, we have an OpenSea account, so that's where you can put your NFTs. There's many different platforms. Think of it as social media. You have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have this place,
Right.
and yes, and then you can put it up for sale. like I said, my knowledge is so basic.
No.
I'm the model.
Just
and
taking some money out of it.
Yeah, basically.
What sort of was the like? How come like because you briefly mentioned like like you don't do OnlyFans, you don't do the Patreon. So like, what was it about NFTs that sort of like tickled your funny bone and where you were like, do you know what? There could be something in.
I feel it's the future. I feel Bitcoin is the future. I feel cryptocurrency is the future. I feel NFTs are the future.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like I don't know any other models that are doing this at the moment.
Interesting.
So
I've not come across them either, to be honest. But it might just be my lack of knowledge. But
yeah, I mean, I have seen some photographers do NFTs, but not any models. So I thought, okay, why don't we create this opportunity? They always say the first one to do something is
Absolutely.
always going to be the successful most of the time. So that was my thinking. I've nothing against OnlyFans and Patreon because people are making a really good living, and I fully support that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, NFT. I just feel
do
like
you know
it's the
who
future.
bought your NFTs?
Does it show?
Yeah,
I'm just
people write
interest-
to me.
I'm just interested. Yeah, I'm just interested.
Yeah.
Like photographers or just people who like the photo, or like someone who has a crush on you, or whatever. Like.
So speaking of Twitter, I mean, Twitter has a really big NFT, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency community, and people write to me and say, "Hi Rebecca, I've just bought one of your NFTs. Love them. Look forward to seeing more." So people write to me and tell me that they've bought it, and I'm like, "Oh, thank you." So and they also sell NFTs, so we kind of support each other.
Oh, that's
So I
It's like a
have
community, basically.
Yeah. So there's this one gentleman, and he bought one of my NFTs, and his daughter has just started her NFT journey, shall we say. So me and my partner, we bought one of hers just to get the ball rolling.
That's
So
nice.
that's what I love about Twitter, because it's that community there, and people support each other, and I love that. There's no competition. People are so supportive. So yeah.
Can I
Shaking your head.
can I ask? It's kind of a cheeky question, but what kind of value are we talking about? Like your NFTs, like is it transparent? So can I see like for how much you sell your NFTs?
I
or
think the
stuff?
floor price is shown on OpenSea. isn't it?
Yes, yeah, you can see how much they cost, and you can choose how much you sell them for. So it is super similar to OnlyFans, but on a finance basis. Yeah.
Like you've touched on OnlyFans and Patreon, and like you said, you haven't done it. It wasn't for you. Like, what aspect of it wasn't for you? Because obviously, like OnlyFans doesn't mean you absolutely just have to go strip naked or whatnot. Like, there's so many different things you can do, or even Patreon. Like, but how come that never sort of entered your sphere of in terms of like I could make some money out of this? Or is it? Oh, sorry.
A lot of
like I could make some money out of this. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm gonna try and understand what your thought process behind it was when you said, you know what, it's nice, but no thanks.
So like I said, have nothing against OnlyFans. Get your money, honey. Do your thing. But
Disclaimer.
Yeah. But I really want to sell my work as big prints. I want to work with artists. I want to work with sculptors, painters.
Yeah.
And I feel if they saw I did OnlyFans, would that
Yeah.
put them off? Like, there's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with it. But not everyone thinks like me, or the people that do OnlyFans. But I always was concerned, would the clientele I want to attract be put off by seeing a OnlyFans link there? For their own reasons, I don't know.
just a reputation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think OnlyFans never had the intention to like let's create a porn site. It's just what it became basically, because it kind of creates a safe space for people who want to create porn content because they can work independently from home. But it's a bit of a shame because obviously there would be so much more to do on OnlyFans. I'm
sure. I think that was the initial intention behind it as well, like you said, but it's just some things, they just take on a life of their own, isn't it?
Sure.
And, like it's like you said, like when you say OnlyFans, the instinct, the first thought that comes to mind is porn, and that's where you're coming from. I fully hear you. Like,
Yes,
it's definitely a reputation that comes with the website. So, yeah, I mean, if you are looking to get onto OnlyFans, just bear in mind, everyone's watching.
Everyone's watching it.
but people are making very good money on there. I mean,
mate.
I know a girl who literally bought out a house like that just purely from OnlyFans. It is a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that on Impulsive the other day. Like, I don't know what her name was. It's like Corinna Kopf. That's it. She's a Twitch streamer, and when she opened her OnlyFans, within 3 weeks she made over $1 million.
Wow.
Within 3 weeks.
Amazing.
I was like, Jesus Christ, you know.
No, I'm like, should I go on NFTs or OnlyFans?
Wow.
Maybe sell your art, just don't be in it. Oh, love.
But speaking of money, I mean, how do you guys define rich? What does it mean to be rich? Because there is so many different types of richness, right?
Do you want the cliche answer?
You tell me how you
Happiness for me.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like?
Oh, money!
Yeah. Yeah. How do you guys feel? I mean, yeah. I mean, I know a few billionaires, and they are miserable.
Yeah. I think money definitely plays his part in richness, but it's not just money. I think
No.
happiness and
Okay,
but it's always
though.
because the thing is like money doesn't make you happy, but like I think I would be happy if I could travel more, if I could be more independent, etc. So I need some money because no one.
It's someone said the other day, like, money's not everything, but it makes all the important things to you like work
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah.
It gives you opportunity, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we've even had this conversation just before we came in, right? When we were talking about like the fact that, oh, is this going to come out after I leave? Oh, screw it. So I've got a new job, right? I haven't told my current company yet. I'm not quite sure when this is coming out, but I'm sure you guys will find out. And so
This is basically he's kind of
I've just quit on air.
handling his notice in with the podcast episode.
No. Oh, literally, that's what we should call this. You know? Nah. No, so it's better paid. It's so I work in software sales. It's better paid, and
It's so funny that you work in software sales. You're the person with the most. I don't know.
He's hating, man.
I'm sorry.
He's hating.
Just go on.
It's just like he's hating, isn't it? He's German, like. What do you want, isn't it? Like,
No, but this guy has no clue about any technical.
do you know what? Yeah, when she was telling me, like, so the lady that showed us the studio was telling us, oh, this is the setup, this is this. Like, Jan and Rebecca went to get a hot drink, and she was like, oh, let me go through the sound settings with you, and I'm like, okay.
Jan, come back.
I'm like, do I have to? She was like, it's very easy. There's just 3 buttons. I'm like, Jan?
Too much.
Bruh, it's so bad. I'm so bad when it comes to technology. Shoot, what were we talking about? Oh, my new job. Look, the thing is, I know I'm good at what I do. The problem is I don't enjoy it. Right? So, although I'm getting a pay rise and whatnot, I'm not.
This
exactly
is also he's also handing his notice in for his new job now.
No, guys, I like you. No, so it's it's a fine line to understand, like, because like I don't want to like be miserable for the rest of my life doing a job that I don't like just because I'm good at it, right? I would love to do, like I said, do this like full time, like be a photographer full time or something like along those lines. That's really where I thrive. I love meeting new people, like just this is me. And so having this new job, I'm like, it's giving me a lot of security. It's giving me the freedom to be able to like, come to a studio like this, and actually record this and do this on a semi-professional basis, so to say, right? So do I give this up because I'm not happy right now and not sure like how I'm going to sort of like sustain my lifestyle, because obviously this is not making money. So like there's these questions, right, that you have to get in your head clear first, right? What's the path? How are you going to get there? Right? And then once I understood that, like that all this me being not happy right now is just part of this journey that I'm on, it really starts getting easier. But it's just, you have to, and again, I know it's so cliche and I'm so fucking sorry for this, but you have to sometimes just take a break, bro. Like me and Jan, we went offline for like literally almost 4 months. Yeah, 4 months. It's because at a certain point last year, it started feeling like a chore. And I hated it. Like, I really hated it. I was like, I don't want to have this feeling, you know, because it's the same feeling that I have about when I think about going to do sales. It's like, I don't want to fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know? So so you just take your break, come back refreshed, and yeah, man, just keep hustling away. And honestly, just start, you know. Like last year, if you compare, literally, this is our second episode, right, that's going to come out. Go and compare it to last year's episodes, and you will see, like, just in these 2 episodes, how much has changed. You know, like, you learn. And again, I know it's very cliche, but you really do learn. And yeah, I just can't emphasize that enough, man. Like, it's
What a locker room speech.
mate, like,
Yeah.
go and get it. No, thank you
Smash
very much.
them.
But speaking of having a break, and obviously when we was in lockdown, did you guys use the opportunity of being in lockdown, not going out, as an opportunity? Like, you know?
Basically, I must say, I started photography a month before the first lockdown. So,
After, actually.
so the first lockdown, which was, I was quite annoyed because I got this new hobby. I was so excited to go out. I've done like, I think,
yeah.
He stood in his house and was taking selfies.
I've done 2 model shoots before the first lockdown. I was so hyped. So I want to do this like every weekend. Like, so then the first lockdown happened. Obviously, I couldn't shoot anymore. But what I've done is then I've got a we're not getting paid for this. I got a Skillshare account, and I spent hours and hours watching videos about how to do Photoshop, how to do Lightroom, and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, I think I kind of definitely used the time. Apart from like doing bullshit and playing video games, I also made sure I always had some hours a day where I've done some, watched some tutorials and wrapped my head around Photoshop. Definitely, I would be up for another lockdown, to be honest. like an annual 1 month lockdown. Nice, oh? Like I would be up for it. Like 1 month every year, where, you know, like everything is like calming down, like
Yeah, no, 100%. Even for me, like, so I started doing photography when initial lockdown happened. You know, lost my job, was just sort of sitting at home, not doing anything, and that's really when photography came along, because it was my best mate that sort of called me out on it, and was just like, "Yo, what you doing? You know, just sort of like just." You know, just wasting their time and, like, you know, just spending money that you don't have type thing. And I was just like, all right, you know what, he's got a point. Started doing photography, and then and that period is really where, like, this is what I'm saying, like in my early 30s, it's where I started getting my clarity. It's like I started following a lot of like Gary Vaynerchuk, and that really impacted my mind. That really, like,
Here
hands
we go,
down,
guys.
still Gary fanboy, you know. I'm still
Another
applying to make the
episode.
media. You still saying no? Come on, man. But you know, that really played a big role for me, and I started, like, I don't like reading, right? So I'm that's just me. I'd rather listen to someone read the book than me reading. But I started buying books, and I started, like, educating myself and understanding a little bit more, because I understood, like, for almost every problem that you have, there is a book written on it. You know, you just have to go and find it. And I really started developing myself, and even my friends, like, okay, not all of them, because some of them are just who they are, but, you know, like, so a lot of my friends are like, you're not like you used to be. You know, like, I used to be very cutthroat and ruthless, and I've come a long way from that person. I'm a lot more empathetic now. I'm a lot more, you know, like, trying to put myself in that person's position. You know, like, why did you sort of do this? You know, like, what was your sort of motivation behind it? Trying to understand the other side of that story, right? Which is not always good, because sometimes it can lead to people just taking a piss. But again, I believe, like, you know, I've killed a lot of my sort of grudges that I felt with people. Like, you know, like, for example, the best one is, like, my brother. Like, for a good 2.5 years or so, I didn't talk to him, and you know, you sort of just get this clarity where you're like, nah, man, like, me just carrying that hate around, it's just not helping. Like, it's making me miserable. And, you know, like, letting things go and growing up, like, that for me happened all during sort of lockdown, because I was by myself. I had to deal with all of this. Like, I had to, you know, like, I'm just there. Like, what else are you sort of going to do about it, right? And so in that sense, it's been a real blessing for me. I know obviously like, you know, people have lost family members and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and hand on heart, I'm so sorry for you guys, yeah, but for me it's been a blessing. What about you?
Well, in lockdown, I thought, you know what? Instead of moping around the house doing nothing, you know, what have I always wanted to do? And I have a interest in interior design. So I thought to myself, this is the perfect opportunity to do an online course and diploma. So that's what I did for the whole lockdown. I paid for a course online interior design, and I completed it and got a
Hey.
merit in a diploma.
Congratulations.
Yay! So I always feel like, you know, try and find the pro and the con. Another cliche. But it's so true, isn't it? Like our mind is so
Cliches are cliches for a reason.
That's
yeah.
it, that's it.
Like, our mind is so powerful, isn't it? You
It
know.
really is. It's crazy, like, you know,
Yeah.
like, the amount of things you can accomplish if you just want to. Like even with me, with us and this podcast here, right? Like at some point 2 years ago, this was just a conversation. Maybe. Now we're season 2, episode 2. Fuck yeah! Do you know what I mean? Like, come on.
So what's your do you have any future plans with interior design? Or is it like more like a backup plan when you're not feeling modeling anymore,
So
or do you wanna
Yes.
want it like what's it called simultaneously, or
So when I'm 106, I would love to be an interior designer. Personally, I would love to do modeling as long as I can. So I do love it so much.
Great.
But yeah, it is a backup plan. It's a plan B. So whenever I feel okay, I've accomplished everything I want to accomplish in the modeling industry, I would love to be an interior designer because I'm really into psychology as well. And I think your home has a massive impact on your well-being, your mental health.
Yeah.
Like I feel when I go home, I've got lots of plants, candles, beautiful interior. Like I feel like that's my mini oasis. And I know it sounds so cliche. I'm so sorry, guys, but I just feel like what's that say? You know that saying, "What you surround yourself with, you become."
Yeah.
I kind of feel like when I'm at home around like all my plants and like nice music and that nice atmosphere, it relaxes me.
It takes the edge off.
Yeah,
Definitely,
yeah.
yeah, it's true. I can, because I used to be a very messy person, and I still have this in me. But I realized whenever my room or my flat is very messy, it makes me nervous. I can't relax, and
Like clutter breaks me.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I always try now to be on top of it, and definitely helps with my well-being. It's nothing nicer than coming home in a nice clean place, like chill on your sofa and
makes you
just
feel
enjoy
good.
your place.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't come around mine anytime soon. Nah, it's I agree. You know, like you have to have your safe space to be able to get away from, and I think, you know, like a lot of people have picked up new things, you know, during lockdown as well, because
We
Again,
baked all the banana bread of the world.
Oh, yes,
yes.
this is so true. Yes,
the banana bread hype. How could we forget?
we all did that, didn't
God,
we?
that's
And
amazing.
TikTok. I definitely got addicted to
Are
TikTok
you
doing.
finally on TikTok?
Can someone explain to me what TikTok? I've heard it so many times, but what actually is it?
What?
What is TikTok?
Where have you been the last 2 years?
In my barn conversion.
I've been working, mate. Right? I go abroad here.
I've got my grind, honey.
Basically,
Making it.
it's basically Instagram Reels.
Okay.
It's
So-
all it is. It's a platform
Instagram Reels
where
is
people
TikTok,
set up where people upload quick videos.
Yeah.
And I think the appeal about it is that it has very interesting algorithm, because you can have 0 followers. You could go now on TikTok with 0 followers, just upload like set up your account, upload a video, and like it could potentially go viral. Like, because I don't know how the algorithm works, but everyone, regardless from the following, has the potential to go viral. Every video could pick up. I think this is what it makes really appealing to a lot of people.
Oh, wow.
And it kind of becomes like a community, because people kind of communicating over videos. For example, like you upload a video, someone is commenting the video. You can like take the comment and do a video about the comment, or you can, as you said, like stitch each other's videos and stuff. It is an interesting platform. I was against it for a long time, because kind of with OnlyFans,
Now
it
you
got this
find them on
reputation,
every day.
like little girls doing dancing videos on TikToks. But I saw a musician the other day. His name is Russ. He's quite big in the US.
Bro, TikTok saved what's his face? Oh my god. Jason Derulo.
Yeah.
Bro,
for example, yeah.
TikTok saved Jason Derulo 100%.
Yeah.
He goes ham on TikTok, like
Yeah.
Will Smith as well.
Yeah.
Like,
And there's so many
Ah,
artists now
okay.
who really like blew up on TikTok, like
Yeah.
actually like musicians or all kind of artists, because the thing is like with Instagram, for example, I don't know the actual amount of users Instagram has, but everyone on Instagram who has Instagram is using Instagram as a consumer, but also as like a creator. Even if you're just like a normal private person, but you always upload like your birthday
yeah.
pictures or like a nice boomerang video with your mates doing like a, like you always put content on Instagram, even as a private person. But the difference with TikTok is, and I'm not pitching TikTok right now, but the difference with TikTok is, I guess, like you have, I don't know, let's say 8 million users on TikTok, but from these 8 million users, maybe 2% actually create content, and everyone else is just a consumer basically.
So it's a creative outlet. The only thing I've heard about TikTok is that Donald Trump banned it from the US because it's owned by China. That's the only thing I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Interesting.
that why is it still interesting now is for actual artists, content creators, is it's not overflooded with like
oversaturated.
there are definitely more users than creators, like more people who watching TikToks than creating TikToks, which makes this quite
So, like,
interesting.
Okay.
You still got like, so TikTok right now is what sort of Instagram was back in 2014. You know, when it was, you can still blow up on Instagram.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, although TikTok's now crossed the line of I think 1 billion users, your chances of blowing up on TikTok are still
Yeah.
significantly higher than on Instagram.
Yeah. And everyone who
Wow.
gained a big following on Instagram recently basically just came from TikTok and
That's it.
brought his
Wow.
followers.
And
Yeah.
also, if you actually look at lockdown and you look at TikTok's growth, because during lockdown, literally everyone jumped on TikTok,
Yeah.
right? So like influencers, like really well, like established influencers, like with about like 750, a million, up to I don't know, like 11.5 million, whatever. Yeah,
Mhm.
all these subscriptions happened in the last 2 years,
Wow.
Yeah.
so they've literally gone from nothing to hero in
Yeah.
simply.
Yeah.
It's like you said, by doing what they sort of. There's this one creator on there, I love it. She always does like these little baby arms, like she's got like these the puppet arms, right?
She's
Like,
smart. Man.
oh, with glasses.
I found her the
Oh,
first time like 1.5 years ago with
Yeah.
like 4.5 million followers. Then every other week I just check the profile. 1 million. She's now on 45 million followers. or
See?
something.
Wow.
It's
It's
smart.
Wow.
crazy, and this is just something like she does like simple skits, just like from one window seal, so like like just a bit of natural light, and she'll just do like different characters. And yeah, if you're creative, it's honestly it's a great platform to be on.
The dangerous part as a consumer is it's very addictive.
I was going to ask you that question next. I mean, how time consuming is it?
Very,
How long
very.
do you guys spend on TikTok?
A lot of time. I had so
Like-
many.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely my habit before when I went to bed. When I'm going to bed, just have a quick look on TikTok, and then hours.
That's another cliche. Quick.
Yeah. Like so often that today I have an early bedtime, like go to bed like 9 p.m. and then like half 12 still like.
Literally.
Wow.
It's just one flick, right? And it's like as soon as there's a new video, so
Do you feel though our phones excuse me, do you feel our phones take us away from the present moment?
Oh,
Like when we're
100%.
at home with our partners, husbands or wives, do you feel like I have a friend, we went out for dinner and she was sat on social media and I was like, why am I here? If you're gonna look at like Instagram or TikTok,
I
like
get you.
you know what I mean?
How often I went on my birthday, my girlfriend took me to Primrose Hill. It's like a hill here in London where you have a nice view over London skyline, and it was
Oh,
a
nice.
stunning, beautiful sunset.
She's a good egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what have I done? Just like get my phone out, do stories.
Yeah.
Why I'm not
Enjoy the
just
present
enjoy the moment. Why do I have to
Yeah.
post
Yeah,
it?
but we're
Like
too triggered towards that though.
We're so
yeah.
tight. As soon as
Yeah.
we see something, I don't know, if
Yeah,
we're on
we
a
have
boat.
to share it. Like, oh, look what I'm doing. Like, like it's literally like that. Like, oh, mate, like the amount of times I caught myself out by like, thinking like, what the hell am I actually doing? Why am I
Yeah,
not
man.
looking through my phone?
I go to a
Yeah.
concert for my favorite artist. He's playing my favorite tune rather than enjoying the tune.
Right?
So stupid,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Like,
I just feel like it can be very time consuming, and sometimes new isn't always best. Sometimes I wish we went back to like the old Kodak cameras, like, you know, and not our phones. And yeah, I just feel like technology is so powerful.
Oh,
Do you feel also the more connected we are online, we're slightly more disconnected at home?
I
mate.
love your questions, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, yeah, it's her show, isn't it? We're the. So she was telling us beforehand that she's been playing like around with it, like wanting to do a podcast for a long time. I'm telling you, do it. I'm telling you, do it.
I would love to. The reason why I love podcasts, because I feel like I said to you guys earlier, I feel like a fly on the wall. I feel like I'm there with people, but I'm not. You know, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to, you know, hear different opinions and knowledge, and yeah, I just love it.
But back to your question, I'm connected to more human beings on this planet than ever before, but also not.
Yeah,
It's weird.
like, that sums it up. Very good.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think that the fact that, you know, like you can have about like, I don't know, like I'll just go for myself. You can 900 odd followers or something. It's not much or whatever, yeah. But then you jump on the tube and no one fucking even looks at you,
No.
and you're like, the fuck is going on, bro?
No.
You know, like this is again, you know, like the digital world and metaverse. And when you're talking about it, I'm like, it's funny, innit? We wanna have these immersive experiences and stuff like that, and we want to be around people. Yet when we're around people, we do not care less. It's like and I hate to bring this topic up because it's a very obviously current topic right now, a very sensitive topic. But you know, like even the war that's going on right now, like, you know, like the fact that it is happening and it is so close, like we are getting so bent out of shape for it, right? But this is not the first time this has happened to like a set of people.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, like we're making such a fuss about it, and that we like historically, like, do you know how much has happened? Like, and it baffles.
But also like 2 weeks into the war, you can already tell it becomes kind of old news already. Even
Bro,
though like
mad,
they're still dying and
Oh
fighting
my
there,
God.
but I think there's the first peak hype, and you shouldn't call it a hype, but it's.
I was
it's gone.
I was watching Match of the Day yesterday, right? And the commentator goes, "Oh, like, you know, again, it was a nice symbolic gesture. Brighton wore yellow and blue." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a great symbolic gesture, but you still freaking playing football, bro, while other people are dying." Like,
No.
and I'm watching it. Like, what's that say about me? Do you know, like, bro, honestly, it's such a fight that I'm having with myself right now. Like, even on my Instagram, like I haven't posted anything for a while. Like even before the war happened, but since the war, it feels just so wrong to me for me to go and post something on my Instagram, right? But I'm like, does no one else give a shit? Like, is this just me? Am I wrong for thinking like this, or are they wrong for not thinking like? Do you know, like it's a question of like, am I being too sort of sensitive with this, or like, why are you not being sensitive enough with it? Am I asking the wrong? Bro, it's throwing up so many questions for me, and I'm like, oh my God, like if I think about this, it's really gonna depress me.
You can be as much as sensitive. Like we still sit at home and do nothing.
Yeah.
It's not like that we are going around collecting donations, packing a van, and drive down to the Polish border. You know what I mean?
Bro, like it's mad, you know, like. I feel so helpless, and I feel at the same time I'm like, I feel vulnerable, and you know, it's just like this is people's freedoms that have literally just been taken away, you know, and like it just brings all this, like, you know, you live in a free country, like you have freedom and whatnot. It just brings it all crashing down. So now my thoughts are like, so what's the point of all of this then? If I can't live free, what's the point of all of this? You know, and then I go into a territory where it gets really dark, and it's just like, it's not good. It's
just laugh it away.
Yeah, you go into a rabbit hole, don't you? When you start thinking about everything that's gone on, you know, COVID, the war, there's other things that's happening in the world. It can drive you bonkers when you think about it, and I feel like I want to check the news, but I don't want to check the news. I'm in this like love-hate relationship. I'm like, it's good to know what's going on, but then again, I think no, I don't want to know, because it just gets me down, because what can I do as one individual unless you start protesting or something, you know?
Let other people just be. It's just like, you know, like it's like this greediness or something. Like I just like, for example, yeah, and like I'm sure you guys all know someone like this, yeah. Like, you know, like when someone out of my friends group does well, I'm ecstatic. I'm like, yo, my G, like you worked hard for this, you know. Well, like I'm literally biggest fanboy at that moment, you know. But I also know people where they're legit jealous.
Mm.
They're legit jealous, and I'm like, but why?
Is that because they have their own insecurities? Because they see someone else doing really well because they're not.
But bro, come on, like
secure.
we literally grew up together. Like, why are you hating, bro?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I would never like, and I can't fathom it. I'm like, you've gone through so much. You know, like it's like even I mean, sorry, I've got to ask this question, but you've had a really successful career over 10 years. Obviously, you've had your friends group, and you know they've seen what you do. They see you go abroad and live this like great, amazing lifestyle, like pretty much the lifestyle that a lot of people want to live but can't.
Yeah.
And then they see you doing it. Have you felt that effect? Like, have you like felt where people are just like, nah, I really don't like the fact that you're doing this?
I feel a few of my friends, they don't understand, and they say to me, Beck, how can you, I do art nude modeling,
Yeah.
which I think is super beautiful and artistic, and you know, the human body is a beautiful creation, and they don't understand why I do it. They goes, how can you get nude in front of someone you've just met? I'm like, well, you know, I feel really comfortable. It's very professional. There's a, you know, photographer and assistant. He goes, oh, no, I could never do that. And I felt when I first started modeling, I did more glamour shoots.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they said to me, like, you know, how can you do that? I can't believe you're doing that. Da, da, da. And yeah, I kind of feel like, I don't know, I'm from a very small town, you know, Gloucester in the UK. Not much opportunity there. And yeah, I just felt like the way of thinking was quite small-minded.
Yeah.
Not in a disrespectful way. So yeah, when I started modeling,
I suppose they didn't know anything else, right?
yeah. So yeah, I felt like judgment from friends, but now they understand. Now that we're a bit older.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had jealousy. I've had people's friends
How'd you
disconnect.
deal with that at the time though? Like, surely that can't have been easy.
The only reaction I can control is myself.
Yeah.
And you can't stress about things you can't control. You know, I'm happy. I love my life. I travel around the world. Like, to be this shy girl who couldn't even go to Tesco and pay for a big Kit Kat, to now like travel the world. You know, I've met so many different people from different countries. It's really, I feel modeling, as deep as this sounds, I feel like it's really saved me, and it's forced me to get out there. And it's boosted my confidence so much. Yeah, I'm grateful for modeling. I love it. Like, you know. But yeah, I've met so many wonderful people, different cultures. I travel. Like, who doesn't want to travel? You know, nowadays.
What are some of like the most amazing places you've been to? Like, where's work taking you? Where you're like, God damn, I never thought I'd get here.
I'd probably say my favorite place that I've been to so far is Utah in the USA.
Oh, really?
I love Utah. If
For a shoot or for private?
for a photo shoot. So
Impressive.
I went to Utah for
went to
2
High Wycombe.
weeks.
Why combi?
But it's incredible. It's literally like you're on Mars. It's so beautiful.
Wow.
I mean, I'm a nature lover, so to be in Utah, all these beautiful like rock formation, like beautiful.
Oh, yeah, now I have a picture in mind. Yeah.
I might have seen that in your stories, you know.
Yeah, Utah. I mean, the USA, they've got it all. You know,
Yeah.
Montana, they've got Utah, they've got Miami, they've got such diverse landscapes. Yeah.
Okay, what was like? Okay, so Utah was like sort of your favorite place. What would you say like? Oh, I had great expectations going in here, and it just all went to shit. It's like there must be one. There must be like a horror story somewhere.
That's a good question. So actually, no names mentioned, but I was in Ibiza.
Go on, name drop.
So I used to live in Ibiza, and I would go over every summer and do lots of bikini shoots.
So
and stuff.
do you have are you half Spanish, or do you have Spanish origins, or?
Yes, I'm half Spanish. I'll get into that in a moment. So I'd probably say Ibiza, I shot with a like top Vogue photographer. Like, he's worked with all the supermodels, Kate Moss, Lara Stone. Right. Like, he's worked with like the top of the top. And I shot with him, and he wasn't what I expected. And he actually, I mean, this is really rare to happen, but he started telling me, I've just met the guy. he was basically, I don't know what I can say on this podcast, but
No, go for it. Like,
he was-
I've been cursing all podcasts. Okay.
So I've just met this guy. We had a great shoot, and afterwards he was saying to me, "Oh, I feel really horny. What are you doing later?"
Jesus.
And I was like, "I just met
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
man,
sorry.
Censor this.
yeah." So he was saying, "I feel really aroused and all this stuff," and he
Serious?
said, "You're just so beautiful. I can't help myself." And then he said, "Would you mind rubbing this lotion on my back?" And I was like, "Yeah, I gotta go,
Bruh.
honey." Yeah, and I've just met him.
Bruh.
Um,
How did you not run for the hills?
um,
Like, come on, that is
thing
creepy
is,
as fuck. Though.
yeah. I mean, he shot with everyone. He was an incredible photographer, super talented. But yeah, he just basically made a move on me, which I was very surprised about. And yeah, he spoke about sex a lot. There's nothing wrong about talking about sex. It's a very natural thing. But it was more perverted
No.
than yeah. The jam was
Do you know
shit.
what? Yeah, it's the fact that I bet with you, like my man's done it before and it's gotten away with it so many times that he's like, oh, do you know what? It's part and parcel of who I am. If you want these great pictures from this great photographer, that's mad.
Especially when you have
Yeah.
especially when you have a portfolio with like Kate Moss on it, and then you have maybe like a not that experienced model, and she's like,
Yo,
yeah.
up and coming models, yeah,
Yeah.
literally, like, careful, man. Like, do your research in it. Like, even
Yes.
yesterday, like,
Check references.
oh, 100%. Like, yesterday, I had I had a shoot that literally came together, like, in a space of a day. I went on Facebook, went onto one of the community sites. There was a girl looking for someone to shoot with. I was already going to be in London, so I was like, you know what? Like, I'll literally, like, be there in about, like, I could be there for about 45 minutes. We could, like, have a little icebreaker shoot, and then we can plan from there. Everything was good. It all came together literally in one day, right? The morning I went to go see my friend. I'm literally about to sit down, have breakfast, and I get a message. Yo, yeah, like my boyfriend and my mama are a bit worried, innit? I'm like, yeah, understandable.
Yeah, that's
If
not.
they weren't worried, I'll be worried. Here's my purple port. There are my references.
Yeah.
I was like, even bring your boyfriend if you want, innit? Like, legit, like whatever you do, safety first, innit? Take someone with you. Like, unless you know the person you're working with and you're good, take someone with you. That's the best thing I can say.
Yeah, it's something I'm always offering. If I'm shooting someone new, like bring someone just to make you feel more comfortable. Do you have any like advice you would give like models who wants to like get into modeling, like safe advice or something?
You know, pitfalls to avoid. You know, like if it like sounds like this,
Or any red flags you have
that's it,
encountered?
red flags. That's it.
So all I can really say is when a photographer contacts me, obviously having no agency, it's just me. They come
Yeah.
straight to me. So I guess you ask, can I see your portfolio, the quality of their work, how people write to you as well. Because I have people who say, hi, Rebecca, my name is da-da-da, and it's a super professional long message introducing themselves and what they want to achieve. And other people say, hi, do you want to shoot 2 hours? What's your fee?
literally.
And I'm just like, I don't have any intentions in working with you. I feel like you can tell what someone's like by the way they write. I know it sounds bizarre, but the way they write, the quality of the work, I feel like there's all these little things you can do. If they say you can bring someone, like you guys said, yeah, I probably say those things.
No.
Yeah. But there was a
With the agency, was it a conscious decision not to join an agency, or just,
That's a good shout.
or did it just like work out and then you just decided like fuck it, I just do it on my own?
so basically I wasn't skinny enough to be signed to an agency, but I also had this fashion look. So I was basically like in between. So I wasn't quite agency standard, shall we say, but I was also super slim, and I could do catwalk and fashion. So I didn't really fit in to their criteria, which is perfectly okay. And also because I had shot like nude as well, and it's all on my website. And to me, it's very tasteful nude.
It
But
is,
yeah,
yeah.
and they don't want to be associated with that, even though
Fair
Kate
enough.
Moss has done nude and Playboy. But hey, that's another story. So yeah, I guess it's a mixture of things, but I'm really happy that I wasn't signed because I want to know exactly where I'm going, how much I'm being paid. No one's taking commission from me.
Exactly.
So I actually prefer it. Like,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet. Yeah.
yeah. But I did try.
Are
I
there
did-
any advantages? Like if you sign with an agency, you missed out, and you would like to have, or like is there anything? What is the point for a young model to join an agency apart from getting jobs, maybe?
I think it's the clientele goes straight to the agency, so they have more work. Where when you're freelance, you're advertising yourself. you have less exposure, I guess. Everyone knows, like, I don't know, Boss Models Miami or like things like that. So I guess you're less well known, or even known. No one knows you exist unless you publicize yourself. And like social media, the power of social media.
Yeah.
So yeah, I also would say, before getting into modeling, ask yourself why, because I feel I got in for the wrong reason. So I did it.
Interesting.
I did it to boost my confidence. But now that I'm a woman, I'm 30 this year.
Yeah.
I feel like I now love it from a different point of view. So I love it for a completely different reason now. So now I love creating art. I love meeting people. I love travel. But when I first started, it was kind of more personal validation, I guess, and a confidence boost. So yeah, I feel like now I love it for different reasons, and I felt like I did get into it by the wrong reason. Yeah.
Fair enough. Any sort of advices on, like, like, if, like, for example, like, like, you hear stories of, like, like horrible experiences of, like, when models go and, like, they get pushed to do things that they don't want to do. Like, do you have any advice for that? Like, stay firm. Like, what's sort of your take on that? Like, because obviously, like, there's again a fine line, right, between, like, someone that's, worked with published models, that's worked for Vogue and something like that, and that's talking to you like the, like, uncle pervert, uncle Pete, yeah, and like, so where do you draw the line? Where do you say, no, do you know what? Yeah, at this point, do not just take that in it.
I think in any industry, whether you're working in an office job, whether you're working in a school, you're always going to get different types of people, aren't you? So I guess we can't control other people, but no matter what industry you're in, you're going to get that, I guess. I don't know, yeah. So basically, they went to the woods and did a lingerie shoot in the woods, as you do. And,
As you do.
As you do. And yeah, he basically, so she was in her lingerie. He then picked up her clothes, put them in his bag, and he basically said, if you don't be sexual with me now, I'm gonna basically leave you here in the woods and take your clothes. And she went, what? No, I don't want to do that. And so basically he basically drove off with her clothes.
Nah.
And she had to hitchhike in her underwear. And she was only like 18, 19, I think.
Bro, do you see? Like,
Yes.
I'm telling you, take someone with you, man. This shit is messed up, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely. Yeah, definitely. I was really
people out
shocked.
here.
Career.
Oh,
So
my God,
I know,
no.
And then basically, she told people, and they said, "What, are you crazy? You've got to tell." So she reported it to the website Purple Report, and they kicked him off and deleted his profile.
Good.
But one of my first ever art nude shoot was with a hobbyist photographer who actually worked as a wedding photographer.
Okay.
And his day job was a policeman, and his wife is also in the police force. And I went to his house. We had a fantastic shoot. I love doing art nude. I was like, oh, I love this. I could definitely do this. And then we had wrapped up the shoot, all done. And I got dressed and I'd come downstairs to say, oh, thanks, Rob, for a great shoot. And basically, he was stood there naked in the living room with the camera in his hand and his hand on his hip. And he said, now it's time for you to shoot me. And I just went, oh my god, like, and I just yeah, and then afterwards he was texting me
Bruh.
saying, I'm really sorry, why did I do that, oh my goodness, and in my head I'm like, yeah, why did you do this?
Yeah.
So yeah, basically
Oh,
I
come on. No.
don't-
Hang on.
I don't
Hang
know
on.
where it came
What
from.
do you mean? Like, why did that? You full fucking knew why you did that.
No,
like,
it's not.
nah.
It's
Yeah.
not that easy to get away. with.
Nah,
I'm
that's,
sorry.
that's
like,
bullshit.
I just had a weak
man.
moment.
Bruh.
This shoot was so professional. I felt so safe the entire time. It's just when I walked downstairs, there was a naked guy.
That is some.
But I
This
felt
guy
so
watched
safe.
too much How I Met Your Mother.
Bruh, I'm telling you, this is some fucked up shit.
Yeah. And I didn't shoot for like 6 weeks after that because I was
Yeah.
so like, But yeah, I think I felt so
Bro,
safe.
like, how do you go through these experiences and honestly don't have the fear of the next person that's going to work with you?
Is there always a fear? Or always a kind of worry?
I think with anything you do in life, there's always an element of risk, isn't there? You know,
Yeah.
you go in for
Well, like-
surgery, there's a small risk something might go wrong.
Yeah, but you like so. Okay, I just want to touch on this just before we wrap this episode up as well because we're kind of running out of time here. But you organize your own shoots abroad,
Yes.
right? And so do a lot of these people that come on these shoots? Do you know them beforehand?
No, I don't. But I go through their portfolio, and sometimes they've worked with someone that I know.
Right.
So I'll contact that person and say,
Okay.
"Oh, hi Claire. How was it shooting with Thomas?"
Right.
And she'll say, "Oh, great. Had a really nice experience." But yeah, references is the number one thing with if you're
So
organising.
when you organize these shoots, do you go by yourself? Do you take your partner with you?
No,
or-
I go completely alone. Yeah, I travel.
Bro, you
a lot.
got to set balls on you. Now, I'm
I
not gonna
know,
lie.
I know.
That's bad, though,
Like,
you know?
I feel so sorry for my mum because I can't imagine as a parent, you know,
Bruh.
my daughter.
That's
What the
mad.
fuck are you doing, mate?
Yeah.
It's mad.
Like you don't realize until you look back and think, I can't believe I did that. Even some of my shoots, I've hung off buildings, I've climbed trees. Like, I do some dangerous shit, and I look back and think, I can't believe now that I'm older,
Anything
wiser.
for the gram.
Yes. So yeah, I'm like, I can't believe I did that. You
That's
know?
mad.
Yeah.
Can I ask, like, shamelessly, like, obviously, like, you know, plug yourself. First of all, like, do you have anything coming up where you going? Like, you know, are you doing any photo tours? That you're doing abroad? Like, maybe that you want to shout out if anyone wants to, like, have the opportunity to work with you. Like, how would they go about it?
So I will be in the USA for the whole of May and June. I only have availability in LA, so I'll be in LA from June the 15th to July the 5th, and then Miami the 5th until the 10th.
Lovely.
yeah.
I'm
Amazing.
not in LA, by the way. I'm not in LA.
I mean, what about you guys? Do you have anything planned?
Yeah, we actually we have a group shoot on the 25th. Carola just confirmed it.
Amazing. Yeah. I
Um,
think we're doing two, aren't we? Is it 27, 28? We've got 2 group shoots.
I don't know. I need to look.
Check out our
Yeah.
Instagram. We'll definitely
Yeah.
put it up. What's your Instagram handle again? Just so that anyone can
is
find you as well.
Rebecca Perry Modello.
Have a look, guys. Absolutely incredible model. And look, I just want to say, look, thank you for coming down.
Are we wrapping this up here?
Hmm?
Are we wrapping this up here?
Yeah, because we need to transfer the audio over and stuff as well, right?
Bye.
So, thank you for coming down. And look, honestly, this has been such a pleasure. I really think you should consider doing your own podcast. Cause
I've
Mo-
really
modeling.
enjoyed this.
You should. You should be a
Yeah.
model.
you should be a model, you know.
I've loved this so much. It's just nice to have a nice, genuine conversation. Just let it flow and
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, and it's this is the thing about like nowadays, everything is kind of easy. Like for a podcast, I mean, yeah, you need some like technical stuff, but if you have a good environment at home, you can easily record at home as well. And like with the page you're using, it's called Anchor. Within 10 minutes, everything is set up, and within 20 minutes, your podcast is on Spotify, Apple Music, Google, whatever, like on all major platforms. There's so many things, like you can, it's so easy nowadays. So if you want to do something, do it.
That's it.
Another-
Honestly,
another
I
cliche.
can only second that. Anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Well, if I do make my own podcast, I would love the people listening to give some suggestions for names. Should we call it Modello's Podcast or?
What would it be on? What would your topics be on? What would you like?
See, the
to talk
thing is,
about?
I love talking about anything and everything. I want to get deep. I want to talk about what's happening in the world. I want to talk about science, history.
Alright, okay, I'll go.
So,
with you.
like,
All right,
what's that then?
Rebecca's thoughts.
Ah,
See?
I like it.
Yeah, you
I
see?
like
Yeah,
it.
you see? Just a
Or
pretty face, guys.
we backcast.
Ah.
All right. On that note, catch you next time.